Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So, the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of
Every
someone
second,
else.
every minute is a new chance to move closer to your goals. So it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. So whether you've been crushing it so far or you're struggling to get started, this is the opportunity to refocus and reframe and recommit and move forward. What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Macro Hour with Nikkiey Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I am your host, Nikkiey Stott, and welcome to today's episode number 225. And today, guys, I want to give you guys a little bit of what personal coaching would look like if you were to be working directly with me. We are on week 2 of the new year, so I want to help you guys take inventory of where you are in relation to the goals that you set for yourself, because this is where things start to get real. This is the initial excitement of setting resolutions or goals, and you've already done that, but this is where it starts to wear off. And now it's about how you're showing up when that hype fades, when the first week of the new year is done and out, and you realize and recognize that life is happening, and the time that I set for my goals in the first week, it's hard to keep that up moving into the second week. And that's where you then go into, I don't have enough time. So what I want to do is, if you've been sticking to your goals, that's amazing. Because I know there's some of you guys are listening to this and you're like, I'm on week 2, I'm crushing it. You're going into week 3. That's awesome. I'm here to cheer you guys on, to help you guys keep that momentum going. So there's going to be a bucket of the podcast for you guys on that. But if you've already started to slip, or maybe you haven't even started, I was at church this past week and the pastor was like, I didn't start on January 1st, I'm going to start on February 1st. And, if I don't keep my commitment on February 1st, I'm going to start on March 1st. Maybe that's you. Maybe you haven't even started. I'm here to give you guys some tough love, because it's not too late to turn things around. So, and you don't have to be like what my pastor said, I'm going to start on February 1st or March 1st. There's no perfect time. The time is right now. We're going to talk about that. So I want you guys to take inventory of where you are. I want you guys to celebrate the wins. And I also want you guys to have some actionable takeaways that will refocus or reignite your commitment. And I hope that this podcast is coming at the perfect time for some of you guys that, again, maybe you are in that second bucket of what I said, of starting to slip up, or you're in the excuses of I don't have enough time, or you took on more than you could chew. You were like, I'm going to change 100 things, when really you should really focus on maybe 1 or 2 things. Or, I hope that this is going to serve one of you guys in some way that will help you, after this podcast, be able to have some newfound focus and reignition to your commitment that you set to yourself. So first, I want you guys to take inventory of where you are. Whether you do this now or you do this later, just pause for a moment today and get really honest with yourself. Really honest with yourself, because you guys, is where if you can show the truth for you and in you, and you can be honest with these questions that I'm going to ask you, that's a huge first step to, one, having self-awareness, to then knowing how you need to execute after that. So just be really, 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 really honest with yourself. First question that I would ask you is, did I set clear, specific goals for the new year? Pause, reflect, be honest with yourself. The second question I would ask you is, have I been consistent in taking action towards those goals? Pause, ask yourself that question, be honest with yourself. And then the last one I would ask you is, am I seeing progress? Not just physically, because it's 2 weeks into the new year and some of you guys won't see that, but maybe mentally, maybe emotionally. Are you seeing progress or non-scale victories? If the answer is yes, I am giving you a huge high five virtually. Good job. Because seriously, like staying consistent is one of the hardest things to do. It's no small feat, and you should be super proud of yourself for that. This is where progress happens, when you keep showing up even when it's hard. Because for some of you guys, like I said a couple minutes ago, if you crush it your first week, but then your second week you recognize that the time that you allotted for your goals in the first week, the time isn't matching up for the second week. Well, you just got to get a little bit more strategic with your time and really look at your calendar and be like, hey, can I commit to getting my workout in, and set that on your calendar, or however you take inventory of your days and plan your days. So first off, like, if that is you and you said yes to all of those, that you did set specific goals, that you have been consistent, and that you are seeing progress, and doesn't have to be physical, it can be mental, emotional, then virtual high five, cheering you on, super proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself. Keep that going, because that will carry you far. Like what I've said in previous podcasts is like, that's a compound effect. It's not necessarily about the outcome that you're going after. It's how you're showing up day after day after day, consistently compounding on the daily actions that you're getting that will get you to the outcomes. It's the systems over the goals, right? If your answer is no, or if you're thinking, I haven't been consistent, that's okay too. This is your and I want you guys to give yourself grace in that, because if you're anything like me, I'm learning that if I don't do something right, it is a part of my perfectionist mentality. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that. If I haven't been consistent, it's funny because like I have dealt with that in my own ways with fitness and nutrition. And now I'm kind of dealing that in other ways with my life. But it's funny how you recognize you do one thing is how you do everything. And even though I've worked through that through nutrition and working out, it's like giving yourself grace that, okay, here is this popping up again. And this is a level and opportunity of growth that I can seize now. Right. So it's the same thing for this. Like if you haven't been consistent, that's okay. Give yourself grace. Do not beat yourself up. Do not say that you are a failure. Do not reject yourself. Do not go on a spiral and a rabbit hole and find yourself all the way at the bottom and you can't see the top. I say that because I know, and I've been in your shoes. This is your opportunity to get back on track. The worst thing that you can do is what I just said. Beat yourself up or throw in the towel. So I want you to reframe this as a chance to refocus and to recommit. Okay? Because what's done is done. You can't do anything about yesterday. You can't do anything about 2 days ago. You can't do anything about 5 days ago. And if you haven't been consistent, that's okay. You can't change any of that. What you can do is you can reframe how your mental, what your mental is right now, and focus on recommitting and moving forward now, today, right now. Because like there's no time. You don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till February 1st. Don't wait until March 1st. The time, there's no perfect time. The time is right now. Even if it's like, maybe you woke up this morning before listening to the podcast and you didn't get your workout in. Do you have time later today? Can you move things around? Can you get, cause it's like literally, it's a snap of a finger. You have the control to change how you navigate the rest of the day. Okay. It's up to you. It's your choice. You can continue to wallow. That's even the word, wallow in the mindset of beating yourself up and waiting until Monday, or you literally can change that in the snap of a finger and be like, okay, I'm just going to recommit, refocus. I have the rest of the day to make good nutritional choices. And maybe if I can't get my workout in, I can at least focus on getting 10K steps in. It's that easy. It's literally that easy. You guys just complicate it and get in your head and get too far. And I can say that because I've been there. And I'm saying that with love, because I want you guys to recognize and bring self-awareness to this truth that you can change things in a matter of seconds. Okay? Here's the deal. Every day, every second, every minute is a new chance to move closer to your goals. So it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. So whether you've been crushing it so far or you're struggling to get started, this is the opportunity to refocus and reframe and recommit and move forward. Okay. Again, matter of seconds. You can do it. Like I just mentioned, you have the choice to be able to literally do that right now. And so I want to talk to you guys about, dive into perfectionism a little bit, because I can resonate with you guys on those feelings, on beating yourself up and spiraling and losing control and going in saying, I'm not good enough. And I'm never going to get to where I want to be with my body composition goals or with my fitness goals because I keep fucking up. Like, I hear you so loud and clear, and you feel like, again, you're not enough, or you're rejecting yourself, or the spiral of emotions that you may be feeling. I'm here to say that I hear you and I understand that. And even though you may be thinking that I've messed up, so what's the point? Or maybe you've had an off day, or maybe you're treating it like, today I had an off day for half of the day. And so fuck it for the rest of the day. Been there, done that. And maybe you're treating it like it's the end of the world. I don't know. We all have our different emotional roller coasters. Here's the truth. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. So something that you guys just heard me having a conversation with Kansas, and how I can bring that level of conversation that we had into fitness is, when you start out something new and you're trying to create growth and you're trying to change your way of being, when you do that, you're battling your old self and your new self. So you're battling old self's habits, thought processes, behaviors, things like that I'm talking about right now. And then you want to act differently. So in the in-between of how she shared that 3D picture, if you guys listen to that podcast, basically it's like a picture. If you look sideways, you can see a face coming out. And I'm probably going to butcher this because I'm trying to put it in the way that she framed it. But if I was to put it in my own words, there's you right now, there's a future you, but there's also the you that has had all these thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, and all the things around nutrition and fitness and working out. And you have to try and catch up to that future you. So in between, what I'm trying to say is, you have the vision of where you want to go, but your body has to catch up to it. And so you're going to experience a whole lot of mess. It's going to be messy. There's going to be days where you don't get your workout in, but hey, can I focus on 10K steps? There's going to be days at the beginning of a journey when you're trying to change things that, you slip up on hitting all of your macros, or you slip up on eating healthy. Instead of beating yourself up, it's cool, okay, this is messy. I'm taking messy action. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but this applies here in fitness. People take messy action when they quit their job and they find another job, and it's more aligned to where they want to be, right? There's an in-between period of getting rid of old ways of being and trying to keep up with new ways of being. Does that make sense? Quick break. If you're finding this episode helpful so far, it would mean a lot if you could hit pause for just a second, leave a quick rating or a review, or share it with someone who could benefit from it. Your support helps more women discover these tools to build muscle, lose fat, and feel confident. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. So what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be perfect in your journey. You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to spiral into a rabbit hole. You don't have to reject yourself. You don't have to tell yourself you're a failure or feel like a failure, because you're not perfect. And that isn't the goal. Progress is the goal. So the way I look at it is today, did I, or even you can look at it in a little bit more bigger picture of things. Am I showing up here in the first 2 weeks of the new year different than I've shown up before? Maybe 2 weeks at the end of the 2024, or a month ago, or 2 months ago. If you're showing up different than you were then, that's progress. It doesn't matter the actions that you're taking, especially if you're new to this and you are learning how to eat better. You're getting, you're eliminating things out of what you used to eat and bringing in things that you did eat. Like, it's not, what I'm trying to say is I'm basically trying to summarize all of that, but you don't, and I know you guys get what I'm saying. You don't have to be perfect, and you can love the mess of the transition period that you're in to make this a consistent lifestyle habit for yourself. Just focus on making progress every single day. Think of it like this. Like, if you're working towards your goal like 80 to 90% of the time and you're still making progress, one missed workout or one indulgent meal doesn't undo everything that you've worked for. What matters is what you do next. Do you let it spiral into a week of giving up, or do you bounce back and keep moving forward? Because a setback isn't a failure. It's just a lesson. So take the lesson, adjust, and then keep going. So that's how I would like pretty much summarize giving yourself grace, enjoying the mess, recognizing that if you are not where you want to be, it's not a failure, it's just a lesson, and you can tweak that lesson and adjust it and then keep going. But I also want to lean in and give a little bit of tough love for those who might need to hear it, because I can be that way with you and be empathetic. And tough love is also empathetic, but there's the ones that need to hear the empathy, and then there's the ones that just want to straight talk and give it to them as bluntly as I possibly can. That's what I meant by when I said at the beginning of this episode is how I would coach you and how I would coach individuals. Who is a human that I'm working with, and how do they receive feedback? Okay. Typically, either someone needs a cheerleader and someone needs like the empathy side of things, or someone needs like, no, Nikki, I just need the tough love, straight to it. Tell me what it is. And a lot of you guys love that. It's a lot of feedback that I get from you guys is you love my tough love. So let me give you guys a little bit of tough love for those that might need to hear this side of it. If you've been making excuses, if you are still waiting for the perfect time to start, if you're telling yourself, I'll start next week, here's the hard truth. There's no perfect time. The time is right now. You don't need the stars to align to start working towards your goals. You don't need everything to feel easy or convenient. What you need is discipline. You need the willingness to show up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. So if you're waiting for, I'm going to, February 1st, if I have the motivation then, or if it doesn't happen February 1st, maybe I'll have the motivation March 1st. You're going to be waiting a long freaking time. Motivation is fleeting. It is an emotion. It ebbs and flows. So you could wake up on February 1st and feel not motivated at all. And there you go. Now you're pushing it out to March 1st. There's no perfect time to start. The time is right now. In order to be successful along your journey, you got to blend in what I said on the empathy side of things. Give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up, because you won't achieve anything in that negative spiral. But what you can focus on is, okay, recognizing it, taking it for what it is, and then adjusting it and keep going. And then building discipline that will keep you going. Because discipline isn't about being perfect either. It's about doing the work even when it's hard and trusting that the results are going to follow. Nowhere in this is just being perfect, because we're not perfect. But can you show up even when it's hard? You don't need to give it 100%. You can give it your 80%. That's better than 0%. And trust that, like, if I can keep discipline, like, the way I look at it is like, discipline is, I attribute it to 99.9% of my success. I'm not always motivated, but I am disciplined. And it's basically me showing up when the temptation is there for me to just like cave. It's like ignoring that temptation of caving and still showing up regardless. And that means, in workout terms, it means like, okay, I told myself that I would be going to the gym at 3:00 in the afternoon today, or maybe it's you guys at 5 a.m. 2:30 rolls around. I don't feel like going. I have no motivation to go. That's an emotion. But I know that I will act despite how I feel. And that's where I would like you guys wake up at 5 a.m. You go to the gym at 6 a.m. I mean, I can't, it's not my jam, but I can understand that for some of you guys, you want to hit the snooze button and you don't feel like getting up. That's the only time of day that you can do it. You don't feel motivated. You don't, it's hard. Well, those are all emotions, and discipline will make you act despite how you feel because you get up, you do the work even when it's hard. And you know that if you keep doing that, the results are going to follow. So that's just a little bit of how I would give it to you straight, is knowing that if you're still making excuses, if you're waiting for the perfect time, or you're saying I don't have enough time, or you're telling yourself that I'm not motivated this week, or maybe I'll start next week. There's no perfect time. Just start right now. It's Friday, go tomorrow. Can't go tomorrow, go Sunday. You don't have to wait till Monday. And then you just got to compound that over time. All right. So now that we've taken inventory of where you guys are and we had our tough love moment there, let's get practical. Whether you've been consistent or you need to reset, here, I want you guys to have some actionable steps to keep your momentum going. So what I will always tell individuals that I've coached in the past is, if there is a moment of where we're at right now and where you're at right now, is to take the time to revisit why you're doing this. Why are you doing this? Why did I set this goal in the first place? What's a deeper reason I want this? When your why is tied to something meaningful, and I've talked about this in 2 or 3 episodes before, like feeling strong, confident, healthy for your kids, waking up every single day with energy. Maybe you have a diagnosis of a health condition that with eating better and working out, it could be less, severe of what it is. There's so many deeper layers that you want to feel confident in your own skin. So you want it when you're having, sexy time with your husband, or anything along those lines that is a little bit deeper of what I'm saying here. Maybe you want to rewrite the story that you grew up with your mom. You don't want to continue on that with generations after you with diet culture. And so you want to rewrite that for your daughter. Whatever it is, you have a why to why you started this. Revisit that. And then have it somewhere where you can see it every day. Because when you have the why, it's not about anymore I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to achieve this goal because I want to keep up with my grandkids, right? The second thing that I would say is set micro goals, big goals, people that try and say I'm going to lose 100 pounds or I'm going to change 10 things in the new year. It's very overwhelming and it will make you feel overwhelming. So break them down into smaller, more actionable steps instead of, again, saying I'm going to lose 100 pounds, focus on okay, I'm going to just hit my protein every day this week and I'm going to get my 10K steps in, or I'm going to hit my protein and calories. Maybe you're not even focusing on all the macros, and I'm going to get 3 workouts in this week. You're breaking it down into smaller actionable steps rather than be I want to lose 20 pounds. Cool. What's the plan to do that? And that way it doesn't feel so overwhelming, because I want to lose 20 pounds. You could be you could spiral on that. You can go in many different directions. If I want to lose 20 pounds, it means I need to start keto. Or I want to lose 20 pounds, so I need to throw everything out my pantry. And right. So it's nah, you're going to make it more if you have small wins that you can focus on a weekly basis, that's going to help you build momentum. And that momentum is going to fuel your progress moving forward. Another thing that I would say is one of the biggest reasons people fall off track is because of lack of preparation. Planning ahead, what's that saying? It's plan to fail, fail to plan, or fail to plan, plan to fail. And that is so true. Fail to plan, plan to fail. That is one of the biggest reasons people fall off track, is lack of preparation. Take 10 minutes to plan your week. I do this every Sunday. I schedule my workouts there are appointments on my calendars. I plan my meals or my snacks so I'm not scrambling day to day inside of my fitness pal. And I identify potential obstacles with my week ahead, with my time, and I will create solutions ahead of time. If you take anything away with this podcast today, that is what I want you guys to take away, is planning ahead, because I firmly believe that if you do that, you guys will be successful in the goals that you're going after. It's one of the biggest reasons people fall off track. I'm going to say it again. The way that I do it is on Sunday, 10, 15 minutes. Schedule your workouts like your appointments on your calendar. Either if you do it digitally or you write them down in an agenda. Plan your meals inside of MyFitnessPal. I've seen so many warrior babes inside their MyFitnessPal plan their entire week, and they can adjust as they go. That is the most, typically I do it day to day now, but it's that, especially the beginning of a journey, is one of the most brilliant things that I have ever seen. And to this day, I still have some clients I work with that do that too. Plan every single day of the week, and they can make adjustments if they go out with their husband and they're planning a different dinner. They're still planning. And then the last thing I think is really important, because every week is different for everybody. And you're going to look at your time blocks or whatever you have the responsibilities of doing with kids, family, what plans you have, work. So you're identifying potential obstacles. You're looking at them on your calendar, and you're going to create solutions ahead of time. If there's potential obstacles or when you would normally work out, you're going to move your workout to a different time of the day. And you're going to do that ahead of time, so you know that when you wake up on Thursday, you have your whole plan set for the day. When you plan, you take control of letting life take control of you. Those are some of the 3 main things that I would give you guys some actionable items to walk away. Revisit your why, set small goals. Like if you have the goal of I want to lose 50 pounds, break that down. What does that look like on a weekly and daily basis? Because it doesn't matter about the outcome. It matters how you get to that outcome, which requires you to look at your systems and processes on a daily basis. And then the last thing, which is one of the biggest things what I say, is planning ahead. All right. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. You are capable of doing hard things. Whether you've been consistent or you need to get back on track, you have the power to make progress starting right now. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's not about showing up. It's about showing up for yourself one day at a time. And if you're anything like me, remember, it's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about loving the mess of the journey that you are in right now, trying to get rid of old habits and implementing new ones. And it's going to be messy, and that's okay. And give yourself grace. The results will come if you stay the course. Just know how to adjust when you need to, pay attention to the lessons that need to be learned, and keep moving forward. You've got this. I know you do. And I believe in you guys. I know you're capable of doing this. It's just about you making the choice, messy and uncomfortable and all, to recommit, refocus, and get back on track. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in for today. And I hope that this episode gave you guys encouragement or tough love that you needed. And if it did, I would ask that you guys share this with someone that could use a little kick in their butt to get, them moving and grooving too as well. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out. Hey, really quick, before you go, I have one small favor to ask. If this episode brought you value or sparked something in you, take just a moment to hit that review button. Your rating and review make all of the difference, helping more women discover the tools they need to transform the fitness and their confidence. It takes less than a minute, but it can change the path of someone else's journey. Thank you so much for leaving that review. I appreciate you so much.